Dragon Ball fans, it's been a little under 3 weeks since the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero trailer came out. So now that we've all calmed down a little bit, can we talk about why Bergamo was in the trailer? Cause let's be honest, no one's really hyped about Bergamo, like not about him specifically, but he's clearly put there for a reason, and that reason is what excites us. Just hear me out. Before that, don't forget to like and subscribe for more, check out my vids and follow my socials below. But with that said, firstly let's look at Bergamo's reveal at face first value. He had a split second of screen time in the trailer that I personally didn't notice at first, but when I saw the screenshots after, it was kinda cool. But come on, he's nothing crazy on his own. Like, he was kind of okay for some of the scenes in Super, like when he fought Goku, but he was a victim in the Tournament of Power. In fact, his whole verse was a victim. What was it, Universe 9 I think? They were all victims. But there's several reasons why his reveal excites me because of what it represents. Those reasons that excite me are unique powers and abilities, possible team-based attacks, and most importantly, what we're all wondering, how his revelations suggest a huge roster and the kind of characters that we can expect. You're going to want to hear that part for sure. Just a quick disclaimer, I'm no expert, but I'm a hardcore fan like probably most of you guys, and this is just my amateur thoughts and speculation from what I've seen. So firstly, let's consider the unique power possibilities. Bergamo himself, while not the most hyped Dragon Ball character, he's got decent strength, but most importantly his ability. If I remember correctly, he takes his opponent's attacks and it makes him stronger. Like, the more he gets hit, the stronger he gets as the fight goes on. As we saw when he fought Goku and Goku had to overwhelm him and defeat him. Although it got harder for Goku the more power that Bergamo absorbed. And if I remember correctly, Goku had to overwhelm him by going Super Saiyan Blue and just defeating him quickly. I can genuinely see this being a cool ability of where the more you hit him in the game, the stronger his attacks get, so you'd have to finish him off quickly. This kind of thing would also be a great motivator for players to use the less popular characters due to abilities like this, rather than everyone using the same like 10 characters that are really strong like Jiren, Beerus, UI Goku and probably Beast Gohan too. Now I know I said I'm gonna get into the roster later, but just real quick, since Bergamo is there, I'd say there's a 50-50 chance his brothers will be there too, like Basil and the other guy, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, Basil was the one with the poison powers who fought Gohan, right? That could also be another unique ability where if he lands one of his poison attacks, his opponents take damage over time, and people might want to use that. There's plenty of other characters with unique abilities like that which people might want to use rather than the same strong characters. Oh yeah, and I just realized there's plenty of other characters with unique abilities that I can see being used, like Captain Ginyu switching bodies, and that Winnie the Pooh looking guy, like that I think he absorbs attacks or something like that. I think only physical attacks though. You get the idea. But now let's talk about the possible team-based attacks. That's part 2. Of course Dragon Ball is known for its one-on-one fights, but there's also plenty of team battles that I can think of. And since Bergamo is in the game, of course, he's part of the Trio of Danger, I think that's what it's called, with his 2 brothers, Basil and the other guy. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember his name, he's irrelevant pretty much. But I can definitely see those guys doing a trio based attack. And there's plenty of other duos and trios that I can see doing group attacks in the game. And we could see unique animations for this, because it's clear they're putting a lot into the animations, especially in the super attacks. Like, if you look at the trailer when Goku does his super attack, that shit looks like a cutscene. And we've also seen some screenshots since the trailer. For example, this screenshot online of Yamcha doing this super attack with some kind of blue dragon. I don't even know where that's from in the anime, but it looks sick. Look at like the level of detail. It looks so HD as well. I don't even know if the screenshot is HD, but that shit looks HD to me. It looks 4K. It looks fire and so detailed. So if a guy like Yamcha, and don't get me wrong, I'm not disrespecting Yamcha, but you know when they make a game like this, Yamcha is not a priority. He might be iconic, but they know people aren't going to use someone like Yamcha as much. If a guy like him gets such a sick animation for his special, and we don't even know if this is his final ultimate, if he's getting such a sick animation, then I'm certain that if they have group animations like trios or duos, and team ultimate attacks like the Trio of Danger, who by the way would be like the lower end of group attacks, then I can definitely see them doing really cool animations for super attacks, and mini cutscene styles like in the trailer when Goku does his Kamehameha. Like, just off the top of my head, I just remember when Goku and Vegeta were in Super Saiyan fighting Metal Cooler in that movie. They did a 2v1 against him, and I don't remember exactly how that fight went, but I remember it had really cool choreography, and I could see them doing a super attack based on how they fought Cooler in that movie, a duo based super attack. Now last but definitely not least, let's talk about the roster. Now it's obvious we all have super high expectations for this roster, as the Tenkaichi games have been famous for their huge rosters, especially now that we have so much more content in Dragon Ball since 2007, where we have the whole of Dragon Ball Super and also the movies and Dragon Ball Daima coming out. In fact, we've had so much content since then and new characters since then that I don't think they even need to add hella filler characters like a bunch of Frieza soldiers for it to have a huge roster like it did back then, and it will probably still be a bigger roster, to be honest. But right now you might be wondering, where does Bergamo come into this? Like, yeah, he's one extra character, which is cool, but why does he suggest that there's going to be a huge roster? Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think he was put in that trailer for one reason and one reason alone. They put him in that trailer to flex, basically saying, yeah, he's in this trailer, so you know who else is going to be in this game. Everyone, pretty much everyone. If a guy like Bergamo is in the trailer, they're going to have everyone in the game. Because while he's not completely irrelevant, if they got a guy like him, think about all the characters in the Tournament of Power. I'm not saying he's the least relevant character, but come on, there's so many. We got Kefla, Kill, the whole of Universe 7 basically. We've got the whole of the Pride Troopers. We've got those feminist characters, whatever their name is, the one that everyone, Ribrianne, whatever, and her cronies. No one cares about them, but if Bergamo's there, at least Ribrianne will be there. Also, I just realized something. Have we had a game, and I'm not including fighters, have we had a game where the base roster had super characters in it? Xenoverse came out in 2016. Goku Black was a DLC character in that game. When was the last? I think this might be the first where we have Tournament of Power characters from the get-go, and guys like Bergamo in the game. We're gonna have Hit, we're gonna have Kefla, we're gonna have everyone in the game. But it just dawned upon me, something just hit me right now while I'm recording this. If they're in the game from the get-go, and Broly's in the game too, does that mean we're gonna experience the story of Dragon Ball Super and the Broly movie? And surely, because I think this game's coming out in 2025, surely by then the Beast Gohan movie, the Dragon Ball Super superhero movie, will be part of the story mode. That will be a first, and that will be a huge selling point for this game. I know Xenoverse has its DLC packages, but come on, it's not like the pure story mode, and those are DLC. This will be huge, and this game is going to surpass that for sure. Also, I just wanted to point out one thought of mine. I really hope that OG Dragon Ball is part of this. And GT would be cool, like, not for story mode, although maybe like an optional side story mode, but just the characters. That's not, well, they will surely add Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Like, I have like no doubts that will be a thing. That's just something that people love, and they know that. But just Dragon Ball GT content would be great, but especially OG Dragon Ball, please. In all of these games, I don't know why they just skip OG Dragon Ball. Not only would we want the characters, but just playing through the story would be great. Like, just look at how popular the Kakarot DLC for OG Dragon Ball was. That shit was popular. Now, I did see a leaked image of the roster, or well, quote unquote leaked, and I'm not gonna lie, it's complete cap. But I just want to look at this for reference. It has OG Dragon Ball, it has GT characters, it has super characters, it has movie characters. For some reason, I think Goku's mom is in there, and that's just what told me this is straight cap. But it's just something interesting to look at. We can have so many characters in this game, but not just that. They can each have value, like Bergamo has value. Now, to summarize, based on my thoughts on all this and Bergamo being in the trailer, and some extra thoughts, my ideal game for this, excluding gameplay of course, excluding the key battles and the key deflection, that's a whole nother conversation, and possible combos as well, that's another conversation. My ideal game would be we play from OG Dragon Ball all the way up to Super, and I know not every character will be in the game, but every character that hopefully had a significant fight. Bergamo had a significant fight. That Winnie the Pooh guy, he had a significant fight, I'd say, kind of. The whole of Universe 7, I'd say, was significant. All the way from OG Dragon Ball up to the end of Super, the end of Tournament of Power. And you know what, actually no, the end of the Broly movie. And I really want the superhero movie to be in there. Like, by then it will be probably 3 years since the superhero movie. Surely by then they'll have Beast Gohan and, you know, the what's the names, but Gamma 1, Gamma 2, surely they'll be in there. And I could see them doing DLC for the manga characters, but only ones that get animated. As for Dragon Ball Daima characters, I have seen leaks or like credible people saying that Dragon Ball Daima characters are expected to be in there. I don't know how that'll play out. That could be really cool, but at the same time I don't have any expectation for that because I don't know how Dragon Ball Daima is going to play out. Because from what I know, it's just going to be the normal Dragon Ball characters but they're kids and maybe a villain or two, so we'll see about that. But really I just hope that this game gets supported long enough so that the super manga characters get animated, you know, like Ultra Ego Vegeta, Ultra Instinct Goku with Super Saiyan God powers. That would be fucking sick. And maybe, although this isn't a must, the GT storyline being some kind of side quest, at least like the important stuff like the baby Vegeta, the Omega Shenron, all that crap. By the way, I just wanted to point out, I think Bandai posted that this is going to be the biggest roster ever or like the most historic roster ever, but then they changed it and that had people worried a little bit. Maybe it wasn't going to be the biggest, but apparently the Japanese iteration of the post still says something like, oh, the biggest or the most historic. I can't remember, but Japanese is the original, so I still think it will be the biggest, but if not, like, who cares if they miss out a couple filler characters like the Frieza soldiers. I should put it on screen right now. But yeah guys, that's been my thoughts on the trailer and Bergamo being in the trailer and what I kind of expect from the game. I'm not gonna lie, this started off as like a calculated video and then it ended up with me just brainstorming ideas, but I feel like you guys, you might disagree with me, you might agree with me, but I feel like you might agree that I'm onto something here. I want to know your thoughts. Comment down below what you think, and if you think I'm right, if you think I'm wrong, I don't mind. Leave a like, make sure to subscribe. Who do you think will be in the game? Who do you really want to see in the game that you're not 100% sure will be? But with that said, like the video, check out my socials in the description, follow me on all those, subscribe, like, check out my other videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.